How would you describe the vibe of Key West compared to other like gay-friendly destinations?
I mean, it's totally different from, say, like Provincetown, Wilton Manors, Palm Springs, Saugatuck. Key West has the history. I dare you to walk down the street in Old Town Key West and tell me that you are not just mesmerized by what you're seeing, because this place was not, there are no strip malls here. Old Town is all walkable. You can ride your bike, you can rent a scooter. That feeling of adventure is so liberating because you don't feel like you're going on a 3-hour mountain trek. You're checking out this cool little, funky island, and that keeps people coming back.
You're listening to Queer Travel Chat by Two Bad Tourists.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Queer Travel Chat. My name is Austin. I am one half of the blogger duo Two Bad Tourists. Joining me, as usual, here in our podcast studio in Madrid is David.
Yeah, I'm here too. We are killing it this season. We're doing so many episodes for season 5.
What episode are we on today?
14.
14, amazing.
This has been like quite a busy podcast season, so I'm very happy for us.
So I'm actually going to say, before we get too deep into this episode, you can see it.
I can see it.
So
if you're watching.
If you're watching the video, I slept badly on my neck a few days ago, and so it was sore. And then I think I pinched the nerve again yesterday, and now the pain is just coming back. So I'm going to be a little bit stiff. I might, if I'm turning to look at David, I might have to do like my chair.
Can you do this?
No, I can't.
Left and right.
I definitely can't do that.
I'm going to hurt my own neck. All right. Well, now you've explained why you are stiff as a board. So what have we been up to? We haven't been traveling much. We've been hanging in Madrid, but we are preparing for the summer as we're now in spring, and I cannot take you seriously with that.
Sorry. I'm like so used to just turning over to look at you, and I don't want to
just look at me through the camera.
Okay, I'll look at you through the camera.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. But so it's spring, so we're getting into the summer season. We're planning all of our trips. We've got lots of them coming up. So I'm excited. What do we have coming up?
So, well, particularly our ones that we're focusing on right now, we've got a cruise that goes from Barcelona all the way to the UK. So it stops in like Morocco and Portugal. And that one's July 26th through August 3rd of this year.
August 5th, yeah.
August 5th, excuse me. So we have a few more spots on that. So if you're interested in that cruise, it's like a 10-night cruise.
And I will be personally hosting that cruise. I think we have 3 more spots. Did you just say that?
We can book many more spots, but we have one more cabin at a discounted rate. So if you're interested, definitely get in touch.
So check our website out if you're interested in that one. And the other one that we're super focused on is our Danube cruise in August 2027.
Yeah, so we have like a very short booking window. We only have 6 weeks to fill that, even though it's for next year's trip.
Because we're actually locked out the prices, and they're guaranteeing our prices right now.
We're actually doing a really good job. In 3 weeks, we've already sold 18 people, and we're hoping to have a group that's a bit bigger than that.
18 people.
But we haven't sold 18 people.
We're not in the business of selling people. That's not
We've
good.
sold enough spots for 18 people to join us.
Yes.
And we're hoping to have a few more. So if you're interested in that one, you have to book before April 27th. Of this month.
So get on it. That was what has been taking up our time, and we're super excited about both those trips. But let's focus on what we're going to be talking about today. In today's episode, we talked to Jeff Smead, General Manager of Island House Key West, all about one of the world's most iconic clothing optional resorts for gay and queer men. As Island House celebrates its 50th anniversary, Jeff will tell us how it has evolved since it opened in 1976, and we'll explore what makes the experience so special, from its social atmosphere to its balance of relaxation and connection.
We'll also step outside the guest house to discuss Key West as an LGBTQ plus travel hotspot, with tips for first-time travelers, insights into the local queer scene, and why it continues to attract queer travelers from around the world. Island House Key West is also today's episode sponsor, so thank you guys for that.
And I think we were last there in 2023. I double-checked on our Google photos, so 3 years ago, we did a road trip from Key West up to Miami, driving up the Florida Keys.
That was a really fun trip. I'd never done anything like that.
Yeah, it was one of my most favorite trips because of the uniqueness of the type of trip. And we got to stay at Island House. We had a wonderful time there, very well located on the island, because from there we just kind of walked around.
And was that your first time to Key West, or had you been?
That was my first time.
So that was your first time. I had been, I think, twice on cruises before, but I'd never stayed overnight. So that was great to actually stay overnight, get to see like the nightlife and everything that was going on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did a bicycle tour of the island. We tried the conch fritters, which are very typical.
And a conch is like that animal that lives in like a big shell, right? kind of like a sea snail.
It's a fried
thingy.
food on my plate.
Yeah.
That's what I know. And the southernmost buoy that is the closest to Cuba is in Key West too, right?
Yeah, it's like the farthest south point in all of the United States.
Yeah, I think it's like
so that's
90
there.
miles from Cuba.
Exactly.
So we went to go see that. We did a little sailboat tour around the island as well. And then we jumped in a car and started driving up to
Isla Morada is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And on the way, we stopped at a turtle hospital.
Yeah, that
turtle
was cool.
hospital, which is cool. They like do rehabilitate
Yeah.
turtles if they can and release them into the wild.
And we also got to drive up over the like 7-mile long bridge, which is one of the like longest bridges over water or something in the US. So
Yeah,
without
something
stopping,
like
I don't
that,
know.
something
But it's
like
also
that.
where the movie True
Oh,
Lies, well, they
yeah.
like blew up the original bridge.
Where the
So you can't-
helicopter like fires
Yeah.
a bomb at the bridge and it explodes.
So you can like see that next to it. That was really
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
to see.
yeah.
So it was a wonderful trip, fond memories, and excited to talk more about Key West.
So if you like the show, please subscribe to it on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you listen. Also, please be sure to leave a 5-star review if you enjoy our episodes. Plus, if you're watching live on any social media platform, feel free to leave us a comment or share the episode with your friends. And you can follow us on social media. We're always at Too Bad Tourists. We'll get right into the episode in just a second, but first, a quick shout out to our second episode sponsor, Provincetown.
Clapboard houses, shingle cottages, rolling sand dunes, harborside gay bars, daily tea dances, and host to one of the biggest bear prides in the world. Yes, of course, we're talking about everyone's favorite New England village, Provincetown.
Affectionately known as P-Town, the gayest town on the U.S. East Coast is found right at the very tip of Cape Cod. It's one of our favorite places in the U.S., and if you haven't been yet, now's the time. Just as it once drew the first pilgrims to its shores all the way back in 1620, the unassuming town now calls out to LGBTQ plus folk. And every summer through the fall, it has a diverse calendar of events, including Bears Week, Carnival, Women's Week, Trans Week, and of course, Pride.
As well as its quirky New England aesthetic, P-Town offers the world-famous commercial street where you'll find endless gay bars with amazing drag shows, harborside clubs for sunset cocktails, and iconic tea dances that take place every night of the week.
I've personally been to P-Town a few years back, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So get yourself a flight or hop on a ferry from Boston and head there this summer. You won't regret it.
Check the link in the show notes for more information about what makes P-Town so special and what's happening there this year.
All right, so let's get into the interview. We're going to invite Jeff on. Jeff, why don't you join us?
Hey guys.
Hi,
Hey,
Jeff. Nice
welcome.
to meet you.
Yeah, welcome to Queer Travel Chat.
Thank you. Hi from sunny Key West.
Yeah, lovely. Much nicer weather than it is in Madrid, that's for sure.
It is gorgeous right now, I'm not gonna lie.
And for those who are watching, see your beautiful golden background, much nicer than our gray,
Yeah,
boring ones.
I love it.
Happy 50th anniversary to us, huh?
A good part of the theme. Yes, well done. Well, let's dive in. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, Jeff, and your role at Island House?
Yeah, sure. I'm the general manager of Island House here in Key West, and I've been in Key West for 20 years, and I've been at Island House for about 15 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so this kind of job finds you. You don't really say, you know what I'm going to apply for and what really interests me. I'm going to go to that gay clothing optional resort in Key West and make that my career. But no, it kind of chooses you. I've kind of fallen in love with this place over the past decade and a half, and everything from the 39 rooms that we have to a 10-table cafe and a 24-hour bar and restaurant and a 200 club membership program. There's a lot to do, and we've got an amazing team of about 45 guys here.
Wow. Well, so how did it find you then?
I was about to
how
ask.
did
I want to
you
hear that story.
stumble into it?
That's funny. So when I grew up in Western Massachusetts, definitely a rural upbringing, but my Boy Scout troop when I was 13 came on a trip to the Florida Sea Base in 1997. And I came to the Florida Keys, which to someone like me, who came from a family that literally went on no vacations ever, I felt like I was going to Bali. Like it was the most exotic place I'd ever been. And so it was basically like space camp on the ocean for a week with my friends. And I just immediately clicked with this place. And I actually got a job at that Florida Sea Base for the summer between high school and college. So that was it. 3 months in the Keys, doing that kind of experience. I was hooked because I just couldn't believe that you could live in a place that was just so exotic and so cool and so different from everywhere that I everything that I knew and was familiar with from growing up in New England.
Mhm.
And so I finished college in 2006, and I sold my car in Los Angeles. I FedExed my clothes. I found a loft for rent in Key West, and I started bartending on Duval Street, just because that was a dream of mine that I wanted to kind of fulfill. Now that I had my degree and I was done, and I just needed a reset. And Key West has its way of you get introduced to the right people, and things start to fit together, and yeah, 15 years later, I'm here.
Yeah,
But
especially I can imagine being a bartender on Duval Street is going to be a great way to meet people.
Yeah,
Lots of
definitely.
contacts through
it is.
friends
I
and
mean, you
business.
meet everyone who comes and visits here, and who tells you like, oh, we come every year, or we come twice a year, and we love this place, it means so much to us. But then you really meet the Key West community, like the everyone from other bartenders to the business leaders, to the mayor. You meet everyone in Key West, because it's just a 2 by 4 mile island in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
And I loved that. So yeah, the pieces just kind of came together. And again, like, I would have lost a $5 bet if you said, Jeff, you're going to work at a clothing optional gay resort.
Yeah, sometimes you never know like what you might do in your future.
We
But
definitely understand that.
well, so going back to your past, do you remember the first impression you ever had of Island House, like when you arrived, and like what kind of stood out about it?
Yeah, so it was 2005, and it was my last summer break between junior and senior year of college in Los Angeles. And my boyfriend at the time, he's like, you'd love Key West. Let's go back there for, let's do a week, and I'll take you to Island House. I know you've been to Key West plenty of times, but you never went to Island House. And at first, like a lot of guys, it's a little intimidating, because I'm, inherently just I'm was never a nudist person. I was never really familiar with the culture, and never really understood, why do people like that, and what's it all about. And so we checked in here, and I just remember that feeling of, okay, this is like gay Narnia. Like, this is so different, and it's just, as my family would say, Jeff, you live in a different world. And it is a different world. And I was 21 years old, I think, in that year, and I just immediately gravitated to this thing, because I loved that it was created by gay men for gay men. Um, just really all the nuances in a resort that you can make gay centric really, really clicked with me. I loved how it all kind of worked together. And it was kind of like, for me, with a Boy Scout upbringing, I went from Tiger Cub to Eagle Scout. My whole patrol made Eagle. It was a huge part of my life growing up. This was like my gay Boy Scout troop. And I couldn't wait to be a part of it, and pitch in and help, and be part of that experience. And then, yeah, as soon as I graduated, that's when I was like, yeah, I'm headed there. I want my life to occur there. And that's a lot of that is due to Island House, because I just didn't know that a place like this existed. And as far as I know, there's no one else anywhere that's got what we've got. So I'm very grateful for that.
We're just a few minutes into the conversation, and I already love your passion for Key West overall, for Island House specifically. It's already infectious. I'm like, okay, I gotta go.
I know, it's time to go back.
It's a problem. I'm addicted. I love it here. I really love it here.
Well, so Island House is now celebrating 50 years. It's been open since 1976. Congratulations on that.
Oldest in the world.
What do you attribute to its longevity?
Nostalgia is really important to our community. And, when you take a gay travel product like Island House that is so immersive, you can't help but feel and taste and smell and touch all those things that reminded you of that first visit that got you hooked. Because once you're hooked, the rebookings sell themselves. And I hope that makes sense. And that once you get that feeling of, oh my gosh, it's for us, it's ours, it's by us, it's organic, it's like this phenomenon of, how did it last this long? I love that. I cherish that. And so it's something that I take, it is my career, obviously, but it's also my passion. Like, I have only ever really wanted to do one thing, and that was move here and let my life occur. And so I kind of living that dream right now, and I get to be here at the time when 50 years means so much to people. I've got guests that are like, I remember coming here in 1979 or 1981, and I actually met one of the guys in the black and white photos that were from the late 70s, where the bar was in a different location and they were mooning the camera, and we used that as one of our promo pictures for the 50th golden anniversary. And I'm talking to them, and he's like, yeah, I can name the guys that are right next to me in this photo, Jeff. And I'm just like, that type of gay history and connection really it doesn't build with just me, it's built with so many of us. And a lot of the guys that come here year after year met here originally, or they came here for their first experience at a place like this together, and then each time it's like they're doing it all over again, and it's nostalgic, and what they come for is not just great food and beverage, fun party atmosphere, epic happy hours and pool parties. They're chasing how this place made them feel. And I know that it's a lot of gay places can say, speak to their nostalgic points, but Island House in Key West is just so organic. And the moment you get here, you can tell there's been a lot of people before me that have been through this and really been the reason why I'm feeling this way too. And it just kind of forms this interconnected feeling that you feel a little bit closer to who you are, and you identify a little bit more with everyone else who's in house with you at that moment, and everyone's kind of chasing that feeling while they're there. And it's just one of those examples of gay magic, and
I love
it's
that.
a pleasure to watch.
It sounds like, yeah, you're describing community,
Yeah.
it's its own community, and that's, a lot of people are longing for that, and it's wonderful when you find it. So I think that's great.
Well,
When you finally find it, you don't want to let it go.
Exactly. So I want to step back a little bit. So you talk about gay magic. So help our listeners understand, or if they're watching the video. So if someone's never been to Island House, how would you describe the experience, right? They check in, what are the amenities and some of the features of the property that you've described, so well so far?
Sure. It usually, and I hear this a lot, is that people are like, okay, I was a virgin to Island House. Everyone where I'm from has talked about it. I've heard the name. I mean, we were the first people to advertise in the Damron Guide back in the late 70s and early 80s, before internet. They expect that there's this intimidation, which is totally normal. Because again, they're like, I'm not from a place that is this open, free, and frivolous, and
right.
It's all about kind of more, and it's in your face. And then they come to a clothing optional place, and they're like, well, I'm not really that kind of person, and you don't have to be either. But it usually happens around day 2 when a newbie comes here and they start feeling like, I wonder why everyone else seems so comfortable, and I'm getting in my own way. I'm tripping myself essentially. And they kind of think, well, if I drop trow, that there's going to be some big explosion or some big noise or alarm that goes off. And
Oh my God.
Gasp.
Right. And so then when it doesn't happen, they're like, oh,
right.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. It's one of those things where they go, it was all in my head, and I get to now feel licensed to embrace the part of me that I've been waiting to meet. And that really hits home with the newbies, is that they leave here. I have guys that leave in tears, because it was like they went to summer camp for the first time again, to the camp they actually wanted to go to.
Right.
And that makes me feel good, because again, the Boy Scout connection and all of that, I'm like, this is your summer camp. This is where you want to be.
So can you get into specifics? It's clothing optional there. So where are the clothing optional spaces exactly? I know you've got a pool. I believe there was a gym there. Of course, you have the rooms, the front space. So can you kind of go over the layout and kind of the rules of the property in that regard?
So when it comes to Island House, one of the things we pride ourselves in is that there are really not a lot of rules.
Great start.
Perfect.
Yeah. There's not a lot of rules for us. There's not a bunch of signage that says do this and don't do that and put your towels there and do that. It's much more relaxed. Everywhere is clothing optional with the exception of the gym, just because of state law, when you're working out, as well as a lot of guys are trying to focus in there, so it's not really the spot for that. But absolutely everywhere else, from the moment I've got guys that walk into the lobby, the door closes, and they start taking their shirts off right away because it's hot, ready to go, and they just flew in from St. Louis and it's freezing there, and now they're ready to do the thing that they've been thinking about for weeks. And I love that. And so it's that instant freedom because there are no rules where you can be naked everywhere. We're open 24 hours a day. It's a no-think vacation because you don't have to worry about, okay, is the bar going to be open? Am I going to be able to get food? Where do I have to go to get it's all under one roof. And I've got guys that, stay 4 or 5 days and they're like, we haven't left the resort yet. Anything else?
Vacation.
I know. And as a hotelier, I love that because, we have a lot more in common with Disney than we do, say, Marriott, because it's this immersive experience where, you're not just coming here because you need a roof over your head and you need lodging. Like you're coming here for an experience that is real and authentic and of Key West, and you become a part of it as soon as you're thrown in the mix.
So Island House can be obviously anything from relaxing to social to full on party. And I remember seeing a little bit of the variation when we were there. So how do you actually create and manage that flexibility?
Island House, we try to stay really streamlined with our programming, because one thing we are conscious of with how our community travels is that they like to have set expectations in terms of things that are happening. Like pool parties are Wednesdays 5 to 8, Sundays noon to 4. Okay. But we also don't try to over program and make it, we don't want to create FOMO for people of oh, I'm missing it by a day, or I'm not going to be there that week. It happens all the time. And so happy hour starts at 5 o'clock every single day, and that is sacred. And so you change the music, the vibe changes, the pool boys show up. You get into kind of your second skin of okay, it's party mode Island House, which is totally different than, say, the guys I was just talking to poolside this morning who are, having English muffins and coffee and just chilling out under the palm trees. And it's that relaxed vibe where it's just soft jazz playing in the background. It's a lot of things to a lot of different people. So you've got the morning early birds, you've got the ladies who lunch, and then you've got happy hour crazy, and then you got full dinner date, and then you got the nightlife thing. We serve our bars open till 4 a.m., but food is 24 hours. So you can go out to the bars in Duval, come back at 4 a.m., lit like a candle, and there's still a great pizza, salad, burger that you can have. It's a no-think vacation where you don't have to engineer anything around how does Island House work. It's, well, how do you work? How do you vacation? We want you to put the phone down, take the watch off your wrist, and make this your vacation. Don't worry about what time dinner's at. We're going to have dinner when we're hungry. What time? It's nighttime. It's morning time. It stops setting yourself up for a schedule that makes you feel stressed when the whole purpose of coming here to begin with is just to release yourself and just let it all go and go with that flow of gay Key West. And it's a liberating feeling for guys who they love that they can just jump into the party when they want, step away when they want, go to the spa when they want, get a massage when they want. It's what you make of it, and they love that freedom because it's not too engineered. You know what I mean? It's all available, all at once. Pick your poison kind of feel. And so choosing the vibe is
Exactly.
kind of a tribe thing where, again, at 5 o'clock, it's like the Key West gay gods just go click and everyone's got a drink in their hand, and it's just different. And if you've never experienced it, it's hard to explain because when you have to be here to kind of know, all those nuances build up to a feeling, and that feeling is what keeps people coming back.
Well, I think happy hour was my favorite part when we were there. I was like, ooh, it's 5 o'clock, David. We gotta go.
Right, racing back on our bikes.
Yeah.
Number one thing will say that they enjoy about Island House is happy hour.
Yeah,
Number one.
it's kind of
Second is the bedroom, but the happy hour is definitely number one.
and all the more reason that it's exciting that you're celebrating 50 years. So what are you excited about? What is Island House excited about for the future?
Oh my gosh. I mean, 50 years kind of gives you a question of like, it makes you kind of take a step back because like this place has been open longer than I've been alive. Like
Yeah.
we stand on the shoulders of giants that had this vision back when there was a different kind of need for a place like this. I mean, obviously a gay couple can go to a mainstream hotel now without fear of, retribution or being spit on or whatever,
More or less.
the context of what it felt like to be a gay man in those years. This is a different experience now, and so we've been one of the strongholds that has doubled down on the gay. And so for the next 50 years, that's my wish, is that this can continue to be that safe haven for men everywhere that kind of just want that tribe feeling of safety and belonging, that makes them, again, not just fall in love with Island House, but fall in love with this amazing destination. Like we're this tiny little island caught between two oceans. We're closer to Havana than we are to any Walmart. It's something that for the next 50 years, pending global warming, I hope that we're still around.
Right.
This is a place that I hope we can hand off to the next generation of gays, because I was so lucky to be the recipient of when it happened for like me and my husband. This place is loved by so many thousands of men that that's a lot of weight on your shoulders, because this is their safe space, this is their happy place, this is where they met, or and it's what brought them together as well and kind of reconnect with each other. Key West in itself, as well as Island House, kind of forces you to shed whatever layer of kind of life drag you're wearing, and kind of get rid of that, and just kind of strip you down, literally and figuratively, and you can really get into a vibe with yourself, and again re-meet that version of yourself that you've been waiting so bad to feel like again.
We should have made this a clothing optional podcast
Oh,
episode.
yeah, that would
have gotten more.
I want to stay, trust me.
Yeah. All right, idea for a next one. Well, Jeff, I'd love to dive more into the destination itself. So, I mean, let's assume someone comes to Island House and they do actually want to leave the resort, once or twice, and enjoy the island. Like, how would you describe the vibe of Key West compared to other like gay-friendly destinations?
Sure. I mean, it's totally different from, say, like Provincetown, Wilton Manors, Palm Springs, Saugatuck, the greats, essentially, in terms of gay destinations that we have here. Key West has the history. I dare you to walk down the street in Old Town Key West and tell me that you are not just mesmerized by what you're seeing, because this place was not. There are no strip malls here. You walk everywhere. You do not need a car. Old Town is all walkable. You can ride your bike. You can rent a scooter. Just that feeling of, where are you going? I'm going nowhere. I'm just kind of exploring. That feeling of adventure is so liberating, because you don't feel like you're going on a 3-hour mountain trek. You're checking out this cool little, funky island, and that keeps people coming back. The fact that we run, this 24-hour world at Island House, again, kind of makes you feel like time does not exist. Other gay destinations, the bars close at 1 a.m. or, you can have 2 of the 3 things that we have at Island House, which is, food, booze, and nudity, but you can have 2 of those 3 things somewhere else. But it's not that it's legal in Key West, it's that it's not illegal in Key West.
That's how you get away with it.
Interesting.
I was wondering.
Right. So, I mean, as soon as you cross into the mainland, you can have food and booze, but you can't have nudity. You can have food in Key West. Well, Monroe County, it's not that there's a rule saying that's allowed. It's just that there's no rule saying that it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, it's a nice loophole. That worked out well.
50 years of precedent, and we're socially accepted here. this is just a part of the vibe. Everyone knows the Island House is on the corner of Fleming and White, and that's just
And
what
it's
it is.
tradition now there, yeah.
Yeah, it's just something where we provide the tropical, Lost Island kind of feeling. If you're going for that, I'm from Massachusetts. I love Provincetown and the feeling uh, um, that they offer to their guests. It's again historic, and it's a party town. Great food, great vibes, great culture. I mean, Key West has definitely changed in the 20 years that I've lived here, but at the same point, there's you can't tell me that a place that is this walkable, this gorgeous, this beautiful, this open and free with foodie paradise and parties everywhere, that will always appeal to gay men. That will always appeal to gay men. It's super easy here. It's just a feeling of I could bring my partner here and go hog wild, or I could go to Key West with my mom and she would love it. Like, it appeals to everyone. There's something about it that appeals to everybody.
Okay, so let's say, you convinced me. I booked my place at Island House. I'm going to stay for a week, but it's also my first time in Key West. So what are some of your top recommendations that I do to take advantage of the destination?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna eat and drink so much.
Perfect.
Conch fritters, right?
Burgers, yes, and you'll eat them at like 3 or 4 different places just to pick who's got the best ones.
That sounds like a good challenge.
When you've never been here, you have to, number one, you have to get out on the water. You have to. It's one of our biggest strengths down here in terms of what we offer the guests, and we have everything from clothing optional sandbar, catamarans, sunset sails with the Blue Q, which is this amazing catamaran with gay captain, gay first mate. That is like that's a rite of passage when you come to Gay Key West. You've got to come and experience the water. Snorkel adventure. It's you meet the guys that are at this gay hotel that are staying at that gay hotel, or these people that are staying at that not gay hotel, and it brings people together.
Sure.
And you're going out on this wild clothing optional adventure, and it just it's exciting. So I would definitely not miss that. I would definitely not miss the Butterfly Conservatory. You are literally walking around on Duval Street. You're walking around with millions of butterflies that are in this giant solarium, and they have real live flamingos that just walk around you, and
We didn't do that.
it's so cool.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, I wish I would have known to check that out.
They raise them themselves. Like you literally look into like the laboratory where they've got all the monarch butterflies that are in their chrysalis and about to come down. You can watch them be born. Like, it's this really cool thing that when it comes to like attractions, it's not corny, it's not hokey, it's not I mean, it's perfect for tourists, but it's not touristy.
Got it.
You can go there and just be like, I was mesmerized by this. It was just like, there's millions of tropical flowers that I've never seen before, surrounded by these amazing butterflies that will land all over you. And the only rule is don't touch them. Let them go where they want to go. And when you're leaving through the gift shop, they take them after they pass away. They take them and they actually take the butterfly and make art out of them to make these expos. I mean, it's really, really cool. It sounds funky,
That's
but
weird. But cool.
they make these beautiful pieces that you hang on your wall. It's just a really Key West centric kind of thing. Mallory Square is definitely at sunset. All the street performers of Key West come out. Everything, the guy who juggles the bowling pins to the people who have handcrafted these fun little Key West trinkets to the guy who's chopping coconuts and serving pina coladas right out of them. It's a no-think vacation. You can kind of find your adventure. What appeals to you. You can break away and do something just you, or you can find a gaggle of gays and then all of a sudden you're doing something together that afternoon. You don't write the script beforehand. You let it.
It sounds like you don't need to do a ton of planning beforehand. You can kind of just book your stay and then go from there.
Just show up.
Just show up. See what other people are doing. Ask around for recommendations.
Is there a best time of year to best show up?
It's totally depending on what you're looking for. I've got guys that are trying to escape, like Minnesota winter, who will always come and spend like 2 weeks in February. And then you've got the European crowd loves super hot weather, so they're here in August and September. But it should also be centered around whether or not you like a vibe that is special event or not. Because special events in Key West are the backbone of what keeps this economy going down here. Everything from Fantasy Fest that happens in October, which is like, think of it like Carnival, Halloween on steroids. It's 70,000 people that come down to this 2 by 4 mile island, and it's just organized chaos, amazing, costumed craziness. And all the gay establishments are involved in it. There's like 120 official events, and all the gay bars are part of it and intertwined every day. That's a super, high energy time to be here. Bone Island Bear It All Weekend is like one of the friskiest things I've ever seen in my life.
What's that name?
Bone Island Bear It All Weekend. It's just
Bear It All Weekend.
nakedkeywest.com. It's this huge collection of, I want to say, over 250 guys that buy a pass for the whole weekend, and there's all of these clothing optional events at different venues around the island. And basically what it does is that it's all set up ahead of time, where they have like a naked shopping experience at Graffiti on Duval Street. So they've got newspapers blocking out the windows.
Cool. I definitely know people who would be into that.
Right. And so you're going in there, and there's like 70 other guys in this small store, and they're all butt naked, shopping for leather, underwear, shirts, whatever, jock straps, the whole everything. And they've all got, a free cocktail in their hand as they're doing this, and champagne. And it's just like they're looking at each other like, what are we doing? This is exciting. I cannot, no one tell my mother where I am. And so if you're looking for the high intensity, special events where there is tons of people and just that hyper gay feeling aura in the air, that would be when to come in for those events in like October, July. High season is high season. It there's less events then other than holidays, but obviously you've got a large part of the crowd that comes to Island House that wants to be a total recluse, and they want to read their book on the sun deck alone with soft jazz music playing in the background, and they're not looking for that. And it can be both things at once, and that's what's great about it, is that it's what you make of it. You're never forced into any type of vibe that you don't want to feel with Island House or with Key West. You have to, if someone were to just call the front desk and say, this is my first time, I don't really know what I'm doing, I don't really know what I'm going to like. Well, this is who I am, this is what I'm into. What would be the best time for me to come down? We get that question all the time at the front desk from people that are just basically looking for someone hold my hand here, because if I'm going to stay at a place like Island House, I want to know what I'm getting into. Go ahead.
My first clothing optional gay guest house, I don't think I had been to one before. Had I asked?
No, I don't think you had.
And my point being that, I felt super comfortable there. I mean, from start to finish, it was like no pressure. I didn't feel like I had to do anything I didn't want to do. I had a wonderful time, of course, because you just kind of lean into whatever you're feeling at the time. So,
it's a pressure-free thing. There's no judgments here. I should stress that, is that Island House, just because it's a gay men's clothing optional, sex positive environment, there's no body shaming here at all. This is one of those places, and it's one of the last of the Mohicans that's like that, where it doesn't matter if you are that super chiseled, young, six-pack abs type, or you've got the total dad bod, and you're not someone who gets naked. Everyone gets along here because it's kind of forced interaction, and it's one of those magical parts of happy hour. I've got some people say, why don't you just let us get our free drinks all throughout the day, then it's not so busy at happy hour. And I'm like, no, that's what we want.
It brings people together.
You want
the
intermingling of people out of their own little tribes within our own larger tribe. You want them to intermingle generational differences. And
you got it. The whole idea is that everyone comes out of your rooms, you put the phone down, you take the watch off, and everybody talks to each other.
Yes.
It's forget about the apps, stop looking at your email. This is where you get back to you. And it's that liberating feeling of like, wow, it took this to get me out, and it took this crowd to make me feel this way. So that is the magic of happy hour that we have here, is that it's not just, let's get tipsy. It's very much Okay, it's happy hour. Let's figure out what our afternoon's going to be like, which is going to lead into how our night's going to go. And I love that sense of unpredictability. Who are we going to meet? And for a single guy, it's exciting. For a not single guy, it's equally exciting. There's no judgments here. And it doesn't matter what you look like. There's every body type embraced here, and our staff knows kind of instinctively how to cater to that, because the whole idea is that no one here is a wallflower. You can be a recluse, but you won't be a wallflower.
Hmm.
People will know your name. People will know your drink, will know your room number, and you will be friends and probably Facebook friends by the time you check out. You will have a whole new kind of Key West tribe as soon as you're getting on your plane to go back home.
Sounds like you're doing God's work over there at Island House for
Thank
the
you.
queer community.
Island House West, bringing families together since 1976.
Really, so good. Well, before we wrap up, is there any question or any that we didn't ask you that you wish we had, or something else you want to share?
When it comes to not really a question to be asked, but just a point to make, is that this is going back to Harvey Milk and those types of that time frame. He said a quote once that said, "Our mission as gay people is to give other gay people hope." And I always remembered that, because I honestly have that feeling coming to work every day. This is a place where someone who doesn't live in such a wild and crazy spot like Key West comes to feel like they do. I think that the role that Island House plays is being that safe space, that spot where you can be yourself, that other version of yourself, and make you feel comfortable in your own skin. Even if you're not necessarily uncomfortable in your own skin when you're not here, it's a different level of openness. And I have always embraced getting to live that life and provide it to guests, and to get to run that with my husband. This is a dream come true. The 20-year-old version of me is squealing that this is my life right now. I am so lucky. So thank you to everyone who's been a part of that over my tenure. Um, the people who've been coming here since Jim Camp started this place in 1976. Thank you. And sincerely thank you to everyone who came here and was a part of this place, because you're the reason that I get to live this life, that all of us in Gay Key West get to be here and feel like we have a home that is special for them. So a sincere thank you to those of you who are watching and listening, who've been coming here and been such a big part of 50 years of Fabulous. I can't wait to see you all again.
Very well said.
Yeah, that's a nice emotional wrap up.
Yes.
However, this is a travel podcast, and I know how much you love Key West, but do you ever leave Key West? And if so, where are you traveling to next? Because that's the last question we always ask our guests.
Where am I traveling to next? I'm going to my niece's graduation in Virginia Beach in June.
Right. Well, June should be nice weather there.
You gotta get off the island sometimes.
Yeah.
People are like, I can't believe you travel or you go on vacation when you live in Key West. I'm like, I know, imagine that.
Yeah.
That is actually where I'm going next. But one of the coolest places I got to go recently, obviously before recent turmoil, is that we went to Bali, and we went with a gay group with Go Naked Travels with Nick Bonello.
Yeah.
And that was amazing, because we also got to do a 3-day layover in Dubai. And I've never would have put that on my dance card, but that was a life-changing experience of that 3 days in Dubai really gave me a perspective into a culture that wasn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am aware of, everything politically and about the gay community that is not accepted there. But being exposed to those types of things was really eye-opening to me, to kind of just understand that this is not like some 150-year-old country here. This is a huge civilization of the world. And I love that a travel experience like that, I could bring that home to Key West and kind of feel a little bit more of a occupant of the world. Like, I've seen a little bit more of it. I understand a little bit more of it. It might not be where I'm, going back to or going to live at one day. It's just I feel a little bit more worldly because of an experience where you step out of your comfort zone and go, okay, here we go. I'm gonna try and do this. And
One of the best things about travel.
Exactly. Building bridges, learning new things, new cultures, new people.
Well, Jeff, it has been wonderful to talk to you about Island House. Congrats again on 50 years. Also, talking about Key West has been great, but mostly just talking, hearing your passion, talking to you and hearing your passion about what you do. It's nice to talk to someone who's really found their place. It's very, it brings me joy to hear it.
Well, thank you. And I like to say that, this place chose me. And when you get picked by Key West, it's hard. It's hard to get away from it. If you're not meant to live here, this place usually tends to chew you up and spit you out. A lot of people think that it's Mai Tais and coconuts to move to the place. They had a great vacation, then they get here, and then they're like, "How many jobs do you need?" But when you get that infectious feeling of gay Key West, and it clicks for the first time, you will chase that feeling every time you come back. And I love watching that happen to guys when they walk in our door.
It sounds like you're a perfect match, and I'm sure for other people as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure.
We'll let you get back to work.
You.
I'm sure you've got lots to do.
I can go say hey to the gays poolside for you.
We'll have happy hour. It's coming soon, right? I guess it's still morning for you, but yeah.
It is, but you can make happy hour whenever you want.
Exactly.
All right, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to our episode on Key West. We really appreciate you hanging in there.
If you like the show, please subscribe to it on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you listen. Be sure to leave a 5-star review if you enjoy our episodes. If you're watching live on any social media platform, feel free to leave us a comment or share the episode with your friends. You can follow us on social media. We're always at Two Bad Tourists. And please feel free to leave us a comment about what you want to hear more of.
Yeah, actually do leave us a comment because someone reached out, a guy named Justin, and hopefully, Justin, you're listening.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Justin. So Justin had suggested an episode on season 2, and it was something about like how to get into the travel business if you wanted to do that. And so he had actually suggested that topic. Then we actually ran the topic. He listened to the episode, and now he actually works as a travel agent.
That's the Justin who reached out to us just recently?
So I didn't even realize that he had suggested that episode. So hopefully, Justin, you're listening again. And this is another call
good
out.
For you, Justin.
Good for you.
Well, the season is not over yet, so be sure to check out more Queer Travel Chat in the coming weeks for another new episode.
All right. Until then, everyone.